Good morning.
Good morning.
From Cortez, we drove on a road. The name of the road is G Road, and it's absolutely fantastic, amazing. It's beautiful.
In the year 1880, a group of pioneers came from central and southern Utah to settle this area, to bring law and order to the area, because there was no law here, and also to make peace with the Native Americans. That was what they were supposed to do. But they didn't scout it very well. So this was their first obstacle. They had to make a road down that hole in rock cliff. It took them 6 weeks to make the road.
Wow, how many people?
250 people. 83 wagons, 1,800 head of cattle, and 250 horses, oxen, mules, things like that. So it took them 6 weeks to make that road. And it took them 6 months to make the journey all the way through to where we're standing today.
Okay.
They thought the whole journey would only take 6 weeks, but it took 6 months. They brought their seed with them. They thought they would get here in time to build their cabins, build their homes, their fort, and then be ready to plant in the spring. Well, they got here in April. April 6th is when they arrived, and they didn't have any place to live or anything yet. So this shows how they came down. They'd have 10 men on the back of each wagon when they came down that, and they would lock these back wheels with chains so that they wouldn't run away on them. Now this painting is based on a journal entry. It's called The Last Wagon. This man who was driving this last wagon, when he was helping up here, at the bottom of this is the Colorado River.
Yes.
And his job was to ferry the wagons across the river when they got to the bottom. And he said, "Hey, you guys, I'm doing this. Would you make sure, don't forget my family, they're up there." Well, at the end of the day, when the last wagon came across, his wagon wasn't there. And he said, "Where's my wagon?" "Up there." "Where's my family?" "Up there."
So he had to go down alone.
He came up, he got his wife, and he had 3 children. His wife and he tied one horse on the back, and then she held onto the reins to use it as a brake. They told their children, "Don't move, we'll be back." As soon as they went down this crevice, right up in there, both she and the horse were lurched off of their feet, and they were being dragged down the mountain. She didn't let go of the reins. When he got to a place that he could stop, he finally stopped, and she had a cut from her hip to her heel, just all the way down. So he took care of the cut as best he could, and then he went to give her a hug and try to make her feel better that way, and she said, "Nope, I'll have none of that. You go back up there and get our kids." So he goes back up. Now that whole thing took a couple of hours, what I just told you. When he comes up this crevice right here, this little boy is 3 years old, and he sees Dad coming up the crevice, and he says, "Dad, I'm so glad to see you. My arm is killing me." He never moved. He's holding his little brother, and he was being obedient, and his arm was hurting, and he was glad to see his dad. Okay, so now Dad gets these guys, and they're hanging onto his belt, and they're going down. They finally get into the wagon, and now they're all riding the rest of the way in the wagon. It's safe enough to do that. The other men that were supposed to help were just now coming up to help him. They didn't forget him, but they were a little slow because they had their chores to do. So they were coming up, but he was so mad that he slapped those horses and went right at them, and they had to jump off the trail to get out of the way because he was still angry.
I love this one. I love it. Look at that. Look at the roof.
The roof is incredible. Look.
Let me show outside. It's all. You see, it's all dirt. I love that. And it's so cold inside. You can feel outside it's really hot, and in here it's really good. It's cold.
I like this table. This is the original one.